Welcome, beautiful souls. My name's Elisa, and today I will be bringing you a 60-minute Vinyasa flow class dedicated to grounding ourselves. Most of this sequence will be done standing, and towards the end, we'll be doing more inversions or prone style poses, and then we'll go to lying on our back right before we do Savasana. Some props you may be needing today will be some blocks. Other than that, let's get started by standing at the front of our mats. We're going to start by doing mountain pose, grounding through the balls of our feet, maybe rocking back and forth a little bit and finding some balance, maybe a micro bend in the knees, rolling the shoulder back so your shoulders over your hips, maybe thinking that there's a string coming out the top of your head so you can stand up a little bit straighter. Really just finding your balance and your grounding here. Acknowledging your breath and where it's at without changing it. Seeing how you feel physically. How are your thoughts? Maybe we're going to set an intention today. It could be your own intention. I'm just going to take another breath here. Inhale, extend our arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, putting the hands down on the mat, taking a step back into plank pose, and then lowering our knees into tabletop pose. Once again, we're going to find our balance here, making sure that our knees are underneath our hips, our wrists are underneath our shoulders, adjusting wherever that we may need to, and pushing firmly through the palms, the fingers, the bottom of the legs, and just finding that neutral spine and tabletop. Now we'll get into 5 rounds of cat-cow. On an inhale, dropping the stomach down, lifting the tailbone up, lifting the chin up. Exhale, releasing, pushing firmly through all fours, rounding out the back. Inhale, lifting the chest to the sky, still grounding firmly through all fours. Exhale, really rounding out that back, arching the spine. Inhale, lowering the stomach to the ground, lifting that tailbone. And then exhale, pushing, rounding out that back. Inhale. Exhale, and last one. Inhale, really raising the chest to the sky, pushing firmly through your arms. Exhale, really pushing firmly through your palms here, and going back to neutral tabletop pose. Now taking a step back, we're gonna lift up into plank, Now taking a step in between our hands and lifting up and coming into a halfway lift. And then we're going to do an exhale right back down. And now we're just going to do a ragdoll for just a few breaths here. If you need to grab a block, because maybe you feel too tight in your hamstrings and you have that bend in your knees already, and maybe we just hold on, help push ourselves up a little bit. instead of coming down too much and leaving too much intensity on the legs. Maybe you strain out one leg at a time. Maybe you're swaying side to side, whatever feels good to you. And last big inhale here. Then exhale. Inhale, slowly rolling up. Letting your chin be the last to rise. Inhale, extending the arms up. Bringing the hands into prayer pose and lowering down into chair pose. Keeping the legs strong and pushed down, making sure knees are knocking, really being strong through the legs here. We're going to be here for just a few breaths. Inhale, maybe coming out a little bit. Exhale, getting a little bit deeper into that chair pose, really sitting back as if the balance is going to throw you off, but still finding that moment to really ground the bottom of your feet here. Ground through the bottom of your feet. Last big inhale. Exhale. Inhale, coming out. Perfect. Exhale, extending the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lowering the hands to the ground, entering into plank pose. And here we're going to lower down our bodies, coming down and entering into cobra pose, just slightly lifting through the chest. Right back down, tucking the toes, and pushing up into downward facing dog. Adjust your hands here where you need to, and your feet as well, as if you're making a V. We want to push firmly through our arms. We're not pushing through our shoulders, but pushing firmly through our arms, relaxing our head here. Bringing our heels down, getting that nice stretch in our calves. Maybe you want to walk it out here if you'd like. Pushing that tailbone to the back of the room. We need 2 more breaths here. Last big inhale. And on an exhale, we're going to slowly walk our hands to the back of the mat. So as if we're in a forward fold. We're going to half lift. Exhale right back down to a forward fold. And slowly coming up, stacking each vertebrae, letting our chin be the last to rise. Awesome. Inhale, reaching our arms up. Exhale, coming into chair pose. You can either leave your hands straight up if you like. If you need more balance, you can bring them down and put them on your hips. Or you can have them in prayer pose like we did earlier. And then coming out. Now, leaving our arms extended up, we're going to take a step out into a high lunge with our right leg. And we're really gonna find our balance here on our feet, being strong through our leg, making sure that our knee is placed over our front ankle. If you need to lower your arms though for this, you're more than welcome to as well. And then inhale, we're gonna lean back to a crescent moon. Exhale, right back to center. And then we're gonna push on back. Awesome. All right, down into chair pose. Inhale out. Kick the left foot out to a high lunge. And holding strong here through your feet. Inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, right back to high lunge. And now stepping the feet together. Exhale, lowering into a forward fold. Stepping back into plank pose. And then now we're gonna lower into Chutaranga Dandasana, coming up to upward facing dog. And now back down to downward facing dog. All right. Once again, adjust your hands and feet here where needed. Pushing firmly through your arms, but not so much through your shoulder blades. Relaxing your head. Maybe having a micro bend in the knee. Last big inhale here. And on an exhale, we're gonna walk, step, or jump it to the front of our mat. All right, let's step back to downward facing dog, and we're gonna walk our hands back to the back of our mat. My apologies. We're gonna do a half lift. Coming right back down to a forward fold. And now slowly coming all the way up, slowly stacking the vertebrae, letting the chin be the last to rise, coming into mountain pose. Now we're going to take a step out with our right leg into a high lunge. If you need to bring your arms up, that's fine, or you can put them on your waist as well. And we're really just going to find our balance here. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, right back to center to high lunge. Now we're gonna lower our back knee to the mat, going into a low lunge. Untucking the toes, and now finding that ground, that middle ground, and seeing how we're squeezing the legs together differently. The pressure points in the bottom of our leg and foot now. How we have to find our grounding differently and our balance. On exhale, we're gonna lower the hands to the mat, and we're gonna slowly walk our right foot over to our left, or behind our left hand, letting the right ankle meet the left wrist and the right knee meet the right wrist, coming into pigeon's pose. So if you'd like, you can take your leg and maybe nudge it back a little bit. You really want to press off the top of your foot here. We're not pressing off of our knee. You don't want too much weight on your knee. If you need to come to your side, that's fine as well. Or you can always take a block. And I've seen some people put a block here to help them stay in pigeon pose as well. And we're just gonna lower down and take a few breaths here. Big inhale. And last big inhale. Exhale, tucking the toes. Coming out of pigeon pose into plank pose. Lowering down. Coming up to upward facing dog. To downward facing dog. Once again, adjust the hands where needed so they're shoulder width apart. Adjust the legs where needed. Pushing firmly through the palms and all 10s of your fingers. And then exhale, slowly walking our hands to the back of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lowering right back down. Inhale, slowly rolling up. Letting the chin be the last to rise. Right back into mountaintop pose. Now leading with our left leg. We're gonna hike it out to a high lunge. Focusing on grounding through both of our feet here. Maybe squeezing the thighs together. Not maybe squeeze them together. Do squeeze your thighs together here. Pushing firmly through the bottom of the feet, through the toes. Inhale, bringing our arms up and coming into a crescent lunge. Exhale, right back to center in your high lunge. Lowering your back knee so the right knee to meet the mat. Untucking the toes. And now that we're in our low lunge, we're finding our grounding once more. Squeezing the thighs together. Really feel what's different in how these variations of being high up versus low down really fill in your body here. Exhale, lowering the hands to the mat and walking the left foot behind the right wrist and lowering the left knee to be behind the left wrist and coming into pigeon pose. So really pushing off the top of your foot here. Don't try to bear weight on your knee. And then now just relaxing in pigeon pose for just a moment. We're going to take about 3 breaths here. Going at your own pace. And last big breath. Untucking the toes. Lifting up off the front leg, the left leg, and pushing back into plank pose, lowering into Chutaranga Dandasana to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. All right, pushing firmly through the arms. Pushing that tailbone back behind you. Really making that V shape with your body here. Last big inhale. And on an exhale, slowly walk, step, hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, right back down to a forward fold. Inhale, slowly rolling, coming to standing to mountain pose. Inhale, extending the arms up. Adjust your feet where needed. Exhale, coming into chair pose. Bringing your arms into prayer hands, pushing firmly through the legs, making sure the knees aren't knocking together. Really pushing through the balls of your feet while sitting back. Inhale, we're gonna twist to the right. Really reaching out here if you need help with your stretch, maybe releasing your arms like I did as such, or you can leave them in prayer pose. Right back to center. Inhale, twisting to the left, maybe extending the arms out to help with that twist. And exhale, right back to center. Coming out of chair pose. Now, still leading with the right, we're gonna kick our left leg back into warrior one, where the foot is at about a 45-degree angle. And make sure you're on train tracks and not a tight rope. Give your hips room here. Bringing the arms up. So now we're in a warrior one stance. Grounding through the left side of the foot here. Really pushing strong through the front leg as well. Squeezing the thighs together. Now we're gonna open up to warrior two. If you need to adjust your legs a little bit and maybe make it a little wider, that is okay. Do what you need to make yourself feel comfortable. All right, and now we're gonna bring it to the front of the mat once more. Extending our arms up to extended mountain pose. Prayer hands, coming down and sitting into our chair. Really being strong with those knees, pushing, grounding through the feet, but pushing the legs outwards so they're not knocking inwards. Inhale, twisting to the left. Maybe extending the arms to get that nice twist in there. And right back to center. Inhale, twisting to the right, really twisting with the top of your body. Maybe releasing the arms. And right back to center. Coming back to extended mountain pose. Now, leading with the left, we're gonna kick our right leg back into warrior one with their foot at a 45-degree angle on some train tracks. Give your hips some room, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Pushing strongly on the outside of your foot, right foot, and pushing strongly through the bottom of your left foot. Now opening up to warrior two. Really feeling the difference here in your body. Once again, having those shoulders stacked over your hips. Now swinging back to extended mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lowering the hands down to the mat, stepping back into plank pose, Chutaranga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. And going into downward facing dog. Adjust your hands and feet where needed to make you feel comfortable and to get back into that downward dog position. Pushing firmly through the arms. And anchoring down through the heels. On our next exhale, we're gonna walk, step, or hop to the front of our mat. Slowly coming up, stacking each vertebrae over one another, letting our chin be the last to rise as we now enter back into mountain pose, finding your footing in here in your balance, having a micro bend in the knee. All right, now leading with our right leg again. We're gonna kick our left leg back into that 40, with our foot into the 45-degree angle, into warrior two. Once again, give your hips room here and enough space. You don't have to be on a tightrope, maybe on some railroad tracks. Having the shoulders stacked over the hips, having our front leg strongly grounding firmly through the bottom of the foot, being strong through that calf. All right, reverse triangle, and then now extended side angle. All right, lowering the hands down. We're gonna turn the back foot and we're gonna step to the front. We're slowly going to rise up, letting our head be the last to rise. Maybe you're adjusting your footing in mountain pose once more. And coming into tree pose. So letting our right be our base, we're gonna bring our left foot on our right leg and come out as if we are one stable tree. If you can't find your balance with your foot higher up, you're more than welcome to have the top part of your toes on the ground and your heel on the top of your other foot. If you want to be a little bit stronger in this pose, you can always bring your foot up higher, maybe extending the arms out in a different way, as if you're a strong tree holding up in the wind. And one more big breath here. Inhale. Exhale, release. All right. Coming back into mountain pose once again, finding your balance, whether you have to adjust your feet, get that micro bend in the knees, stacking your shoulders over your hips, really finding that alignment here. Now letting our left leg be the leader, we're gonna kick our right leg back into warrior two. Really opening up those hips, sinking deeper into that warrior two, where my shoulders are over my hips. I'm pushing firmly through the right back of my leg and pushing strongly up through my left leg. Reverse triangle to extended side angle. Sweeping the arms down to the front, pivoting the back foot, and bringing the feet together. Half lift. Exhale right back down. Inhale. Slowly coming up to rise right back into mountain pose. Awesome. Now, continuing to let our left leg be the base here. We're now going to come into tree pose, whether it's leaving your toes on the mat and your right heel on your left foot, or you can bring it up to your leg. You can have your arms at your side, your hands in prayer pose, wherever feels comfortable for you. Being strong like a tree that cannot be blown over by the wind. You may feel life, but it's not moving you. Being strong through your leg. Last big breath here. Inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, extending the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lowering the hands to the mat, stepping back into plank pose. Lowering down to Chaturanga, to upward facing dog. On an inhale and on an exhale, we're going to downward facing dog. All right, adjusting the hands where you need to here, adjusting the feet, pushing firmly through the arms, relaxing the head, the shoulders. All right. Now dropping our knees to the mat, we're gonna come into tabletop pose. Finding that neutral spine, maybe adjusting so our wrists are below our shoulders and our knees are below our hips. All right, now we're going to do what they call bird dog. So on an inhale, we're coming into bird dog. On an inhale, lifting that back right leg, and then also lifting the left front arm, maybe holding this for about 4 breaths here. If you're really engaging the core, maybe pointing the toes, pushing firmly through that right arm and finding that balance with your left leg. All right, last big inhale. And on an exhale, lowering down. Perfect. All right, finding that balance on all fours once again in that neutral spine. Now we're gonna lift the left leg up straight, pointing that toe if needed. Really engaging the leg and the core and lifting the right arm. Really finding that balance between the left arm and the right leg. Hold for 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Last big breath. Inhale. Exhale, release. Awesome. Coming back out to a bird dog with our right leg extended. Our left leg out. We're going to do 5 crunches, or you can just hold it here. So our knee is going to meet our elbow. Ready, go. 1. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 3. Inhale, exhale. 4. Inhale, exhale. 5. And release. Awesome. Now we're going to lift the left leg up and that right arm up, and you can either choose to hold it here or do 5 crunches. Ready? Engaging the core. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Good job. Perfect. Really finding that neutral spine here. Planting the hands firmly. We're going to step it back into plank pose and come up into side plank on our right side, stacking our left foot over our right. Maybe you need to have your knee down. Sorry, that was a bit aggressive. Maybe you have to have your knee down here and just hold it. Once again, engaging the core. And release. Perfect. Either coming back into tabletop pose, or you can choose to come back into plank pose and now rotating to the left side. Really staying strong here, or once again dropping that left leg and getting that strong core if you can't lift it up with 2. Holding for just another moment here. And release back down into plank pose. Awesome. And releasing into tabletop pose. Now we're going to sweep the legs around. And we're going to come into butterfly pose. So that we're gonna put our feet together. Maybe if this is a little too intense for you, you can always get your blocks and put them underneath your butterfly wings if you would like. We're gonna sit here for just a moment after all that work. Just catch our breath. Inhale. Really rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, leading with the chest into a forward fold. And if you don't have your blocks underneath your butterfly wings, you can always have your block in front of you, helping to stabilize and hold you up as you ground through your sit bones here, and you feel all the points on the bottom of your body connect with the ground. And knowing that life is the same, but pretty much varies, we're gonna slowly come up, staying in butterfly pose, maybe scooching our bottoms down just a little bit and slowly lowering ourselves back into supine butterfly pose. So letting the legs maybe relax a little more here, and seeing how the different points of your body meeting the ground really make a difference. Because once again, life may vary, but it still can very much seem the same. Just subtle differences. Now using your hands, slowly bring your butterfly wings up. And bring our knees to our chest, and we're actually going to grab the bottom of our feet, and we're going to go into happy baby pose. Maybe we're going to roll on our backs if you want, maybe side to side if that feels good for you. Awesome, releasing the feet here. Now bringing the knee, now the last thing we're gonna do here is a supine twist before we go into Savasana. So we're gonna bring our right leg up to our chest. Maybe putting our hands underneath, bringing some pressure to our leg, our hip socket. Maybe letting your hand help roll out that joint. And now we're gonna bring that right leg over the left, either leaving a bend in your knee, maybe straightening it out. Teeing out your arms and looking over our right arm to help get that better stretch in. All right, come back to center, lowering our right leg, lifting the left leg, and now using the hands to help push our left leg down, maybe giving a little massage to our hip socket, letting our hands help us and help guide our leg. Now bringing that left leg over the right side. Once again here you can leave your leg at a 90-degree angle, or you could choose to straighten it out. Teeing out your arms, looking over that left hand side. Alright, coming back to center. We're going to slowly lower our left leg. And here we're just going to come into Savasana, just lying on our backs and taking what we've done for the time being here. Maybe you need to adjust a little bit and get comfortable. Really just relaxing your arms by your side. Maybe letting your feet droop to the side. Allowing gravity to take over. Acknowledging where your breath is at without changing it. Feeling all the points in your body where it meets the ground, where it's holding you up firm. Realizing that life can be overwhelming and there could be so much going on. But in moments you can find stillness, and even though life may vary and give you different challenges, it just means that we have to find a different way to find our footing. If you'd like to slowly close the eyes here and just take a few minutes, I'll let you know when to open your eyes so you have a little time to intake the quiet, the stillness. remaining closed. Maybe slowly wiggling the toes, maybe moving the fingers a little bit. Maybe you'd like to roll over to whatever side is comfortable for you. Maybe placing your arm beneath your head, sitting in a fetal position, still remaining with your eyes closed. Or maybe you'd like to just remain on your back for just another moment. You're more than welcome to pause here and keep relaxing. Or if you'd like, you can slowly start fluttering open the eyes. Maybe slowly lift up with both your arms, slowly coming back to the present with us, and and sit on your mat, coming up to sitting on your mat, bringing our hands heart to center. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for taking this time for yourself today to be vulnerable, giving, and free of judgment. This practice is for you to help keep yourself grounded in everyday struggles. Thank you once again for being here, and thank you for joining me today. Namaste.